AI gets good enough at running ads for everyone, won't all ads start to perform the same? So my wife asked me this week, and I thought that it was a super smart question because the answer is actually a little bit more interesting than you think it might be. Real quick, I run a performance marketing agency called Gradari. In 2023, I was the top strategist at the #1 digital marketing agency in the United States. I've been deep into paid advertising for over a decade now. And yes, AI is changing everything. It's already handling bidding, placements, and writing ad copy. And the edge that us ad buyers used to have was knowing more about the platform than anybody else, right? Better than the next guy. And that edge is actually fading because of AI, because of these platforms. But that doesn't mean that it's the end of ads in general. It's just a beginning of something new, a different way about going about things. So let me explain this to you. Say that we have two plumbers and they're running ads through the exact same AI powered platforms. This is a future scenario because we don't have AI platforms that I think do that good of a job quite yet, but we're getting close. So assume they have same AI powered platform, same budget, same targeting, same placements, everything the same in theory. You'd assume that they'd get similar results, if not the exact same results, right? But in practice, their outcomes will likely be light years apart. So why is that if they're using the same AI to manage their ads? Uh, it's because of everything that happens outside of the platform. The platform does not live inside of a vacuum, and it feeds off what you give it. So there are five main ways that one company might crush it while the other fails and falls flat completely. Number one, better data in means better data out, better results out. So if one company has a tight CRM integration and is sending offline conversion data and closed deal data back to the ad platform, that AI gets smarter faster. Meanwhile, the other guy is still optimizing for form fills and basic phone calls that don't turn into sales, right? And there can actually be a downward spiraling loop if you're optimizing towards poor quality leads. And by the way, this is something that you can implement today. This is something that you can do now. This is not a futuristic state. I have a video here on my YouTube channel that shows how I did this almost a year ago for a home service business based off of form submissions. I've recently done it with a different client targeting qualified phone callers who are optimizing just towards qualified phone callers, not just anybody who's willing to call their line. That's dropped their cost per deal by 50% just in the last month or two. That's an ongoing case study, so I'll probably talk more about it later. Okay, number two, messaging that resonates. So AI can write headlines, it can write copy, but only you will probably, well, maybe AI can get to this point in the future, but it'll take a lot longer for AI to get to know what your market actually cares about. So that's where you need to come in, do a lot of testing. There are so many different ways to market your message and advertise your product or service. And that's where your job comes in to figure out the intersection over here between what the market cares about, what they want to hear about. And on this side, my arm is under my microphone over here, what your product and service can offer to clients. And so you need to find the intersection in the middle between that, that Venn diagram of what you offer and what the market actually cares about. So a clear, resonant message will always outperform a generic one, even if both are written with AI. And by the way, this is a brand new channel, so if you've liked this so far, if any of this is resonating with you, please subscribe, drop a comment, or send it to one of your marketing friends. Anything like that goes a long way for me and for my new channel. So, number three, your offer strategy. So what are you selling? Why now? What's the hook? One of the reasons why I love this is because I have one of my favorite examples of this is a plumber that I used to work with a few years ago. They had pretty generic copy for a while, and we were just running with basically what they were using. And then I was like, hey, you actually have a really strong offer. Let's just clearly communicate that in your landing pages. And so it was nights, weekends, holidays at no extra cost. And just overnight implementing that as a sub headline on their landing page doubled their conversion rates. They had a really good offer. And then it was that actually going back to point number two, the messaging of that offer that doubled their conversion rates. And so over the 3 years that we worked with them, we dropped their cost per lead from 120 down to 80. And that was with a lot of, blood, sweat, and tears. And then with that one simple landing page change, we got their conversion rate from an 8% up to a 16%. And that dropped their cost per lead below a $40 cost per lead. So 120 down to $40 overall. So yeah, two companies, exact same click costs, you see totally different results based on the conversion rates from the offer that you're giving people. Okay, number 4, post-click experience. So very similar to number 3, but this week I actually had a conversation with a client where I was talking to them about, hey, we're actually pretty close to getting peak performance that we can expect out of Google Ads. Yes, we're going to continue pushing the limits. We're going to continue testing and experimenting with new things, but a lot of the gains will be marginal from inside of the account because we're just so well optimized now. A lot of the big levers that you still have available to you will be your landing page, your sales follow-up, your email nurture sequence, your sales handoff, and everything else that happens post-click. How are they running sales calls and everything like that? So the ads might get the click, but they don't close the deal. That's dependent on your system, okay? And so depending on the systems behind the scenes, very different experiences. But here's the thing. Number 5 gets into lifetime value and fulfillment. So even after all of those differences and from 1 to 4, assume that these two hypothetical businesses are getting the same or very similar acquisition costs. One still can drastically outcompete the other based on who gets more repeat clients, who gets more referrals. If your business can get 10 times the value from every new customer, they can afford to pay way more into the advertising on the front end. So a lot of people come to me and they say, hey, the ad costs are just super expensive in my industry. They don't feel like they can pay those costs to get the client on the back end. Well, that might be that the majority of your industry is making so much more money off the back end of each new client or customer that they sign up that they can invest so much more into the front end in their marketing, and they're effectively pricing you out of the market of getting into paid ads. And so you need to figure out a way around that. So anyways, the back end systems, the lifetime value, how can you get the most money out of every client possible? That's going to make a huge difference in it kind of goes back into the front of the system. You can invest a lot more and you can be acceptable. You can accept a much higher cost per acquisition. So no, AI is not going to explode everything. Your job's not going to go away immediately, but it is going to make strategy, systems, and structure more important than ever. And that's where the edge is really moving. It's architecting a better feedback loop. It's shaping a smarter funnel, aligning the messaging, the market, and the offer, and it's supporting the business beyond just the click. And that's why marketers who understand the whole system from ad to close to lifetime value will stay ahead. And if you're worried about AI taking over your business, don't be. The game is changing, but it's not over. It's just shifting. And the winners will be those who know how to play the whole field.